Alright, so these are the quiz corrections for August 23rd, 2016. Notice there is a column on your right hand side. I've highlighted green here. That's where you're going to write. Okay? So you're going to write if the student work in front of you is incorrect. Okay? So question number 1 was out of 4 points. So if you don't have 4 points, I want you to do the whole problem again so you don't make the same mistake. So you're writing only in this green area. So on August 23rd, when all the students were taking the test, you write over here. I grade it, I pass it back to you, and a homework assignment is for you to correct it so you don't make the same mistake on the big test. Okay? Zoom in here. Okay. Question number 1. Hadley drew line segment AB on the coordinate plane. So here's A and B. Determine the distance between the points A and B. So distance, you can count a horizontal or a vertical, but you cannot count a diagonal. 1 out of every 3 students was making that mistake. They thought you can count the diagonal here and just get an answer. Well, you have to use either the distance formula or the Pythagorean theorem. In this class, I've been asking you to use the Pythagorean theorem because I think it's easier. The most important letter is C. And you find the C because it's across the right angle. That means the other letters are A and B. Identifying A and B does not matter because you will add them and square them. Okay? To find this side length, I just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A is equal to 7. To count this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Therefore, B is equal to 7. So I write down the formula first. A lot of students were not writing down the formula first. Do that. Then you do your substitutions. A was 7 and B is 7. And the formula has a little 2 here. That's called an exponent. So this means 7 times itself twice, or 7 times 7 is 49. 7 squared is also 49. Add those together and you get 98. To get rid of the power of 2, you're going to take the square root of both sides. C squared essentially means C times C, or that's a pair. So now it's just C. And on this side equals the square root of 98. Now the directions do say show all your work in the space provided, box your answers, but this is really not my answer. I boxed this because a lot of students stopped here, and this is where I gave them 3 out of 4 points. To get the 4th point is to break them down into factors. So 98 is 49 times 2. 49 is 7 times 7. Notice how all of those numbers, 7 times 7 times 2, when you multiply them together, will equal 98. You're going to circle pairs. And remember, the pairs, when they come out from far away, only looks like one of them, so you have 7 radical 2 as your answer. So everybody, if you missed that question, you're just writing there on the right-hand side, and this will essentially be your study guide for your quiz this Friday. All right. Question 1B. It's multiple choice. For multiple choice questions, you don't need to show me your work, but it is helpful for you to understand what's going on. It just asks you to simplify the square root of 63. I listed out all the factors of 63, and notice how I'm not going to use 1 times 63. You can choose either of these, but I chose 7 and 9 because 9 is a perfect square. 9 becomes 3 times 3. I circle that pair of 3's, and that 3 comes out. Therefore, your answer is 3 radical 7. Question 1C. It says to simplify. In orange, I've highlighted those that are like terms. They're like terms because there's a radical 2 and there's also a radical 2. Radical 5 is not a like term because it's a different radicand or different number there. Here, because I have addition and subtraction, I'm just going to add the numbers in front, the coefficients. So 2 and a negative 6, that is a negative 4. Negative 4 radical 2. Notice how this radical 5 has not a like term, so I can't combine these, and this is your answer. negative 4 radical 2 plus 5. Or you can take this and write it on the right side, 5 minus 4 radical 2. A lot of students are not paying attention to their integers. 2 minus 6 is a negative number, so you left it positive, I took off a point. Question 1D says to simplify. In this problem, these are not like terms. I have a radical 8 and a radical 2. And I've highlighted this 4 here because don't forget that 4 at the very end. The square root of 8 can be simplified as 4 times 2. 4 is 2 times 2, so it looks like a factoring tree. And I have a pair of 2's, but I'm not circling that third 2. It stays inside. A pair of 2's comes out. Remember, you can only see one number. And then out here it's multiplication. 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, so our answer is 8 radical 2. This one just comes down. You notice they are like terms. Therefore, 8 minus 6 is 2, and you do nothing to the radical sign. So that was out of 4 points. That side was 4, 4, 4 plus 2 is 14 points for that side. You'll notice that I'll be adding up in the corners so that you know that I added them up correctly. Go ahead and turn to the back side. All right. The directions on questions 2 to 6 say complete each box, and I've either given you a vocabulary word or a term. You may need to draw the picture, or the other hint is a label or notation. For point A, you literally just need to draw a dot and the letter A. If you did not write the letter A, I took off a point. You got 1 out of 2. For question number 3, your hint is this label or notation. Notice how it has 2 arrows. That lets me know that it is a line. You must put those letters there, A and B, so it's line A, B. If you wrote line segment, I gave you a 0 over here. If you just wrote the word line and not A, B, I gave you 1 out of 2. Question number 4, collinear points. You only need to have at least 2 points that are on a line. I drew 3. You don't need to name each of the points. Question number 5, a line intersects a plane at 1 point. Okay. Here, don't copy this, but for here, this was a common mistake. It's a common mistake because you don't know if the line is on the plane. For example, if you look here, this is a line, this is a plane. Class, are they touching? Maybe from far away, like 50 yards, you might think they do. But if I turned it sideways, you realize they don't. Okay? So this notation of actually just putting a point right there, this would be full credit. It is a line, and it is only touching this plane at 1 point, or this one here. Okay? Question number 6 tells you the vocabulary word ray x, y. X might be your starting point and you're going in that direction. Or you can also start with a y and going towards x. I do understand that we are reading left to right, but I guess you can argue the other way. For a ray, you only have 1 arrowhead. How many arrowheads, class?
1.
Just 1. Okay. Here is the common mistake for rays, line segments, and lines. Students think that there's a point here, so they put a big dot right here. This is wrong. Okay, you would have been marked off a point. Or if I tell you draw a line segment JK as your notation, don't write the dots there. The only symbols you're going to see are just what? Just arrows. So JK line segment should be written this way. Okay? All right. Any questions so far? Okay. Let's go over questions 7 to 10. Melina, can you read number 7 for us, please? So do what I'm doing with my mouse, or use your pen or your finger on your quiz, is you just trace those 3 letters. Class, are they on the same plane? Yes, they are. That is called coplanar. That is, the answer is true. Question number 8. Sarah, can you read that for us, please? Class, do they touch? They do. They touch there at point D. So that's true. Also notice if you looked at the letters there, the only letter they have in common is D. Question number 9, true or false, segments AC and FD are skew. So let's look at them. AC, FD, they look to be parallel. So that would be false. They're not skew, they're parallel. And what is the intersection of line segment DE and BE? Well, they touch there at point E. So if I didn't grade all of your problems, I didn't grade the multiple choice and the free response, you can go ahead, multiple choice of the true and false, you can also grade yourself to see what you have gotten. Question number 11, you need at least 3 points to form a plane. And question number 12, how many unique or only one line can be drawn through point A? Well, you'll notice that you can draw a lot of lines through there. The answer is many. That side was worth 26 points, and the quiz was out of 40.